Hey everyone, welcome back. Glad you're here with us in this mini course about big feelings and super excited to talk today about stress. So when we think about big feelings and where they come from, we spent the last little while really focusing on co-regulation and on how children read our energy. And from here, I want us to really think about stress. So sometimes parents will say, my kid just explodes out of nowhere, or it goes to zero to 100 in like a second, or it literally comes out of nowhere, and it might feel that way, but it is coming from somewhere. There's a root of somewhere, right? And it might not feel logical or be like the thing we thought it was. And I want us to think about that root as stress. And stress is really, in this instance, is anything that gets in the way of cooperation. So let's say you tell your child to get off, you tell your 10-year-old to get off a screen and they say no, or they ignore you, or you get into a big fight about it. There's stress in the interaction that is not allowing the child to release their attention from the screen and turn it to you. Say you're with your little one and you say you've got two little ones, you're playing on the floor, one kid grabs a train from the other one and they start to tussle and fight over it. That's also stress. It comes from it's a different kind of stress, right? But it's also stress. So say you've got a 6-year-old and you know that when you pick that child up from school or camp or wherever, if you don't have a snack in your car, everything's gonna be hard, right? If you've got a kid that has to eat by a certain time, or else, that's also stress. It's physical stress, right? There's something in the body that's not enabling them to cooperate. So that's really what we were talking about today. Because when we attune ourselves to our kids, it's kind of like we're getting to be stress detectives, right? And I don't want you to walk on eggshells. It's not to say I want you to like sort of tiptoe around to not provoke anything. In fact, when parents come to me and say they feel that way, I'm like, okay, we got some work to do, because I want our kids to be able to cooperate in our families how we have them set up. But I want to really tend to what is causing the stress, and can we remove it? And sometimes you can't know, but like we can do kind of a stress check on ourselves and our children, knowing that our own stress, of course, interacts and weaves together in order to impact their experience, and how they express themselves. So let me just give you a couple of other examples of stress, and then we'll talk about the stress check and how to do one on yourself and your kids. So for some children, like having a lot of noise in an environment can be really stressful. And the noise could be the buzz of the refrigerator. It could be the hum of the fluorescent lights. It could be cars beeping outside. It could be siblings playing. It could be adults having adult conversation at dinner. Noise is different for everybody. And it's funny, I had a parent that I was working with recently who, when we were talking about this, she was like, yeah, I'm really sensitive to noise. Like in the morning when the tea kettle goes off and then like the kids ask for this and this and this and this, and I just get really overwhelmed. And that's, so it's true for us too. So it could be noise. For some kids, it's like sensory, like the feel of clothing, tags in clothes can cause a lot of stress. It could be social. It could be worry about going into a new group of children. It could be that a child, who's working like on an academic task, the task is too hard. Like we want the task to be hard enough to like cause a little bit of stress, but not too much, right? So that they can move through it. It could be a lot of different things. And so for your particular child, it could be that your child needs more one-on-one time. It could be that they need more sleep. But for each of your kids, I want you to spend some time really thinking, what's causing this child's stress, and just let it go that they're doing this on purpose, or that they're being really challenging, or whatever kind of like a narrative that you have on, they can't stop fighting, whatever it is. Just let it go for a second and try to think about, for that particular child, where's the stress coming from? What could it possibly be? What do you know about this child? And you're the people after your child who knows the most about them. So what do you know from their other parts of their lives, when they were younger, when they were babies, when they were toddlers, that could help you understand what might be stressing them right now? Remembering that stress is anything that gets in the way of cooperation. And then do a stress check. And we talked about kind of co-regulation and the way that we have a shared emotional landscape. So when you do your stress check, start with yourself and really check yourself. Like, am I really stressed about work? Am I getting enough self-care? Am I exercising? Am I getting the things that I need so that I can show up for my child? And then do the same for your kid. And if you identify arenas that either of you needs more support in order to show up for each other, get the support. Go outside, go to the beach, take some time off. Do what you need to do so that you can show up in this most important relationship with yourself and with your child or children. Take good care. See you soon.